Legend Total War here, and today we're doing a rating your Doomstack video where somebody has finally sent in a all-troll army. So, playing as the World Walkers, we've got a Throg army with Norscan ice trolls, and we're going up against two armies of Bretonnia and a army of the Empire with the settlement garrison. So essentially, one army of the Empire, two armies of Bretonnia. Balance says it's evenly matched. When we go into the battle, there's no way it will actually be evenly matched. Anyway, another thing to keep in mind, this guy has sent it in on normal difficulty, so we're going to bump that up to very hard in order to properly test this. I don't really care about what campaign difficulty you send it on. And I guess the big difference between campaign difficulty will mean, like, if you were playing on Legendary, what we'll end up seeing is, like, a lot more tiers of experience, which explains why these guys here, like, I'm used to seeing like, pretty much gold tier experience enemies, but, you know, they just don't get as many cheats on normal. Anyway, let's just jump in here and see how it performs. Now, one thing immediately with this is that you should have a wizard in this army. I don't really care what wizard. Fire. It should be fire. You might think, oh yeah, but fire is bad with Norscan ice trolls. They're weak against fire. Yeah, they are weak against fire, but just don't fireball your own troops. That's all. Okay, so in the past, I have allowed the enemy units to come onto the battlefield to do a proper test, but if I do that, we will 100% lose. And using these guys in their intended purpose is there's no magic to use. We should rush at the enemy. So let's do this, and we'll see if they can... Basically what we need to do here is defeat them, so that's Reichland there, before Bretonnia shows up. Because if Bretonnia shows up and hits us in the rear, we're doomed. Anyway, let's just jump in here and see how we go. Right, go. So I need Throg to go after him. But yeah, the main purpose of doing this is like to prevent their missile units from properly forming up. And if possible, we get into melee with them so they don't even shoot at all. So the Winter Tooth Crown. Also, it doesn't really make a lot of sense doing this as the World Walkers, since you boost mammoths, but it definitely makes more sense to put it in as Throg, so we'll see. This unit here took a beating straight away. Let's get it out, that way it can heal. I went up against all that bloody halberds, that's why. Oh, that guy's just trying to get away. Right, just don't worry about that, you're not going to catch up to him. Yeah, you just come over here, have a bit of a rest. So just try to get these guys off the battlefield. It's definitely on very hard battle difficulty now. You know what? They're ripping through this pretty well. Yeah, you just have a rest. You still recover a fair bit of his health. Just keep attacking her. I did tell him to do this, but he just wouldn't do it. Just come on. Well, a couple more hits. Good job, Throg. We won't even say that very often. Alright, next thing for you, take out the steam tank. Alright, the Empire army has been defeated, and Bretonnia is... Oh, no. Yeah, the steam tank shouldn't be that much of a threat to us at the moment, as long as it's already in melee. Take out the guy there. I don't think it's shooting. I mean, it's shooting that steam crap, but I'm not worried about that too much. So just don't worry about it. Like, I'll get trolls to handle him. Looks like he's about to rout anyway. Okay, what we need to do after this little scuffle is over, come over to about here and just have a bit of a rest, I think. Come throw it. Take it out. Alright, good. Okay, we got Bretonnians coming in. We're not going to be able to get away in time. Fighting Grail Knights in the forest will mean they lose melee attack, but so do we. Let's go here, just getting some rest. But yeah, taking out one of their Grail Knights early, that's good. Too bad he didn't show up a little bit earlier. That actually would have been a big problem for us. Alright, just let him go, let him go. Get over here and just have a rest. But yeah, this actually performed really above my expectations, and we bumped it up to very hard difficulty. Yeah, difficulty modifier plus 10, routed them off the battlefield, and we didn't even take that much damage, apart from this guy here, which we just pulled out. But you know, we didn't really give them a fair fight. They didn't have a chance to set up. We'll have that with these Bretonnians. And see, even after taking out the Empire forces, it says the balance of power's not in our favor. So let's rest up and just wait for them to get organized. I'm not a big fan of the Copious Vomit. It's got fairly short range and it doesn't actually do that much damage. So I just tend to ignore abilities that just don't provide like a really good impact. And it can be finicky. Like he oftentimes aims for the flank of a unit. Kills like one unit of infantry. It'd be much better if you could get to actually fire at a specific point rather than just at a specific unit. That's it. I think we have just about healed as much as we can. Just about. So it is on large unit scale, but it really shouldn't affect us too much in this battle. In fact, it probably gave the AI the advantage. Them using that beast magic there, that doesn't really hurt us. They got a whole bunch. They are derping up pretty badly. Like, there's these guys behind here. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to rush at them through here while they're they're not really organized. I wonder if this has something to do with normal campaign difficulty. I don't think so. Just a sec. Okay, we want to try to avoid fighting in the trees. So, try to draw them back up this way. There's no way in hell I can catch those mounted yeoman archers. Maybe give them some vomit, actually. Hold on to this high ground here. And also, all of their infantry will fight like crap near the water. Yeah, we got a few kills, so it's better than nothing. Like the main thing here with the mounted yeomen, just try to get them to shoot at different targets so that we can just keep healing. Balance of power's moved in our favor now. And let's just see how we go about, like, not getting the army wrecked throughout the battle. Okay. This is where we want to fight them. In the water. Okay, pull this guy out, let him have a bit of a rest. Alright, we got a fair few troops coming into this way. Okay, get back. Because I want to charge if possible. Charge down the hill would be good. Pegasus Knights could be a concern. I need to get at those archers as well. Luckily they've blobbed them up quite a bit, so they're not going to fire very well. Okay, turn around and fight. Okay, I need to get one of you guys around through here. Get at those archers. Time. I can just roll over them. This is definitely better than the dragon. Dragon ogre. The Zoat army. Definitely better. Same class of unit, essentially monstrous cavalry, or monstrous infantry, whichever. Just way better in melee. But then again, we're not going up against dwarfs, so I don't know. Let's stop their archers from shooting. No time. Okay, pull them out. We want to get a cycle charge. As long as there's no cavalry pinning us down, should be fine to do that. Come round over here. That's it. Just keep their archers from shooting us. We're really not taking many casualties at all at the moment. Okay, just roll over them now. Just ignore that. Throg's getting a bit throgged. Would have been better if I was in amongst my other troops there, but he should be able to take out a pallet, actually. You know what? Looks like he could use a little bit of help. Yeah, Throg's having a hard time here. He's getting picked on. This one here's having a hard time. Get him out. Alright, is that the... No, it's the army losses yet. There it is. Alright, cool. And you know what? Our army's reasonably well intact. I mean, Throg took a bit of damage. But he also dished out a decent amount as well. Took out a number of heroes. That didn't perform too badly at all. Now, I think it's important to point out, though, that this army will be compared to the usual Doomstack of the World Walkers, which is the Mammoths. Mammoths make use of their faction ability with the extra 15 melee attack for all Mammoths, which is really quite a huge bonus. If you're going to go all Trolls, it makes a lot more sense to do that in Wintertooth, especially because I think it gives them extra physical resistance, so they'll be even tougher. But putting all of these Trolls in a different army, as in like not in Throg, because let's have a look at the bonuses that Throg provides, right? So he's able to give them 20% extra missile resistance. That's really good for them. There weren't that many missile units in that army though, and also that just reduces upkeep. Yeah, 15% extra melee attack and melee defense for Norscan Trolls and Fimir Warriors. Now, I've done a campaign where I tested out a whole bunch of different Norscan units. Now, this is the tiers that I think are the best units in Norscan roster. War Mammoths, number 1. After War Mammoths, I think that the Frostworms are pretty good too. So they're ranked 2 in their army. After that, I would actually say the Norscan Ice Trolls. They're the 3rd best unit in the roster, but when put into Throg's army, it does actually make them quite significant. And when you put them in Wintertooth, it puts them on a similar tier as War Mammoths, but only in Throg's army. That's the big problem with them. Another thing is that the economy of the Norscans is largely based around not paying your troops, and so the amount that you are paying any individual unit shouldn't matter, because eventually, like when you get to this point in the campaign, I mean, he's only playing on normal difficulty, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you're playing on very hard or legendary, you got to be stacking up them reduced upkeep stuff. You got to, defeat the Warriors of Chaos so that you get 75% reduced upkeep. You got to get the extra reduced upkeep here and get the technologies reduced upkeep. And then you eventually get to a point where no matter what army you've got, if you've got under, say, 4 or 5 armies, all of your armies are free of upkeep, and so it doesn't matter what units you've got, so you might as well make them as strong as possible. Which is a lot better than like having, say, 10 armies full of marauders and then losing half the battles because they're terrible. Anyway, comparing it to the Norscan War Mammoths, I'm actually going to give this an 8 out of 10. I would have given this an 8.5 out of 10, or even a 9 out of 10, if it had a wizard in the army. It would have made a big difference. I highly recommend a fire wizard, but you could also go metal wizard because you could use some debuffs on the enemies with the transmutation of lead, I think. I can't remember which one it is. Just to debuff them so that, yeah, you know, your Norscan Ice Trolls fight a little bit better. But also, Searing Doom's not too bad, same thing with Gehenna's Golden Hounds. And Gehenna's Golden Hounds basically does no damage to the Norscan Ice Trolls, so you don't have to worry about fire damage. But still recommend fire. It's just that metal magic would be a bit more noob friendly. You could go death magic. I think they get death wizards, don't they? I can't remember. Let me have a quick check. What are their lures? Yeah. Oh, right, yeah. So they get fire, death, and metal. Okay. Highly recommend fire. If you know what you're doing, is just, even in Norscan Ice Trolls army, you know, put them down burning heads. Actually, burning heads would lower leadership, but you do have, you actually got the leadership pretty high in this. So, that's quite impressive. Like, their base leadership is like 40, right? Yeah, it's not going to show me there. So yeah. Yeah, you could use Burning Head. It'll take a little bit of a leadership penalty, but it does better against, like, infantry units, which is probably where these guys here will struggle the most against, like, up against Halberdiers. And then there's Flamestorm, which is the best, basically, Vortex spell in the game. But yeah, take out one of these Norscan Ice Trolls, put in a Wizard, doesn't matter what type, and this will get an 8.5. Otherwise, it's an 8. Really liked this army. More than I should have, I think, because I hate Trolls. But, honestly, there are many different types of Trolls in this game, and Norscan Ice Trolls, they're okay. They're not bad. It's just that compare them to Mammoths. Mammoths are just so awesome. So, if it had been on the exact same tier as a Mammoth, I would have given it 9. And if it had been better than the Mammoths, you know, give it a 10. But there's no way they compete with Mammoths, even with Throg. Anyway, that's the end of this one here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this particular army here. I'm not, like I said, not fond of Trolls, but I have to admit that Throg with Trolls is not bad. You can definitely win some battles with them, even in the late game. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.